based in London, says that although Egypt and Tunisia are indeed very similar, they're different countries and you shouldn't actually compare them. And you can read the title there that says each has its own recipe for its own constitution. And this article points out that in a way, gathering all these Arab Spring countries under this umbrella term, Arab Spring or Islamic awakening, is problematic because it leads people to describe widely different events with a single analytical tool.
And staying in the region, The Independent focuses on the Yarmouk refugee camp in Damascus.
That's right. The Independent points out that 18,000 Palestinians are trapped there and starving. And let's take a look at the front page of The Independent today. There's a photo there of Isra al-Masri, a little girl who died of starvation, according to The Independent, shortly after this photo was taken. Now, inside, The Independent describes what's happening in this camp. It was once Syria's largest Palestinian camp, and it's been under siege for almost a year, encircled by the Syrian army and cut off from medical aid and supplies. And to quote someone in that camp, people are now eating grass and routinely eating cat and dog. Now, The Independent points out that Isra, this little girl, is one of at least 50 people to have died of hunger since October. And according to the article, she's one victim of the siege that really shames Syria. But there's an article in The Independent which points out that it's very hard to verify reports and pictures coming out of Yarmouk because the suppliers are usually activists. So The Independent asked all sorts of specialists what they thought about the photo, and they say that there is reason to believe that the photo is authentic, although they point out it's impossible to verify.
Very emotive images all the same. Now you're going to move stateside, and Time magazine is getting a lot of attention.
That's right. Let's take a look at Time this week. It says, "Can anyone stop Hillary? How to scare off your rivals without actually running yet." So Time wonders, will she, won't she? Though there have been all these reports detailing what a lot of people think is the signal of the beginning of her campaign, Hillary Clinton actually has not decided yet whether or not to run for president. That's what Time says, but her indecision serves her well. Why is that? Well, Time says that it gives her flexibility, it shields her from answering every internet controversy, and the very most important thing is it allows the Republican opposition to take shape and to draw fire. The key question, of course, is how long can all this go on? Well, Time says longer than you think.
So Time's article is getting attention, but the cover also.
That's right. Let's take a look at that cover again. What is on the cover? Not really Hillary in a typical human form, according to Slate magazine. It's rather this photo illustration here. We can probably take a closer look on the monitor. Now, she is represented by this navy pantsuit, this big black pump, and this little accessory at the very bottom, which is a little guy in a suit that's hanging on to her heel. So Slate says it's time for another round of, is the media representation of a female politician sexist? Well, Slate says, in a way, that representation of Hillary Clinton does have some truth to it because, yes, she is a very powerful woman. She doesn't have very much opposition within the Democratic camp. But in a way, by representing Clinton in such a way, Time is actually undermining her power when it's trying to acknowledge it.
Power suits and power heels.
That's right.
Flo, so the foreign press has also been focusing on this difference between the indigenous press here and how maybe they would have covered the alleged affair that Francois Hollande is allegedly having.
That's right. There's an article in The Economist I really recommend reading today. It's a fantasy piece, actually. La Maison Blanche, if only France ran America. So let's quote this article. "The citizens of the world's most powerful country have recently been distracted by a piece of meaningless tittle-tattle. The current issue of People magazine has revealed what tout le Washington knew anyway. Barack Obama has been having an affair with Jennifer Aniston." Now, this is fake, keep in mind, but it's a really funny article that describes America today as if it were France, with, of course, Ségolène Royal being Hillary Clinton. You have Valérie Trierweiler as Katie Couric. My favorite was George W. Bush. He got divorced from Laura and had an affair, got married to Beyoncé. Now, that's a reference to Nicolas Sarkozy and Carla Bruni. But the article wonders, seriously, would America be a better place if it were run like France? And it says, well, actually, probably more talented Americans would go into politics if they didn't think they were going to be roasted. There would be more Jack Kennedys and fewer Mitt Romneys, according to the article.
It's all very titillating. Thank you very much, Florence Villeminot, for that review of the press here on France 24. We're going to take a quick break now, but I'm back after the weather with all your top news stories, and we'll also be bringing you Focus. Today we meet members of Baghdad's Falcon Brigade, the elite bomb squad tasked with responding to the city's frequent and deadly car bombings.